I have been living in Poland for about 4 years, and today I'm here to share with you a lesson on cultural diversity that I had learned, and I hope can be universal. To begin, what is cultural diversity and how would you define it? Well, I asked this question to people from different countries and different backgrounds, and I was able to obtain a wide variety of fascinating answers. Some define cultural diversity as the people having different religion, race, talking in different language, living together. Some said that it meant the existence of different cultures and groups around the world, having different beliefs, interests, and values. For some, it was the people who have different lifestyles, understandings, and habits because of the way they were raised. It was the ability to meet at a common point despite all these differences. And the beauty that prevented monotony. There was one definition that drew my attention. One person called cultural diversity the complementary power of differences. During my first year in Poland, I got to have a Polish, Vietnamese, Turkish friend group. One Polish person, one Vietnamese person who had been raised in Poland, and me, a Turk, who had only been living in Poland for a couple of months. The language we have used to communicate was English, which was a second language for all of us. We all spoke different languages as our mother tongue. We all had different appearances. Our families had different religions. And we were brought up with different traditions and in different cultures. There were times when I joked about a situation that we were in or about a topic that we were just talking about. And of course, I would have liked my friends to laugh at it. But sometimes it was all silence. Well, to be honest, sometimes the joke might not have been funny and that would be the reason why they didn't laugh. I can understand that. But at times, I was thinking that it was because they had misinterpreted what I said. And one day, we were planning to meet, and I wanted to change the scheduled time. We messaged, I tried to explain them why. And at the end, I remembered that the situation got so complicated that my Polish friend started to think that we would not be meeting that day. And my Vietnamese friend, who was brought up in a very disciplined environment, was mad at me because I had agreed on the time but was trying to change it at the last minute. Well, a reaction like this, I believe, is connected with personality, on which culture has huge influence. And I was just reading through the messages and trying to write something that will pacify my Vietnamese friend and will stop the misunderstanding for my Polish friend. To me, the message I had written felt extremely ordinary. I had just wanted to delay the meeting. But I was totally unprepared for the reactions I got. And back then, I was not able to understand why all this was happening. As I spent more time in Poland with my friends, I realized that the reason was because of the differences in the way we express ourselves and in the way we were used to understanding things. Just like the expressions we were using, which in most cases did not have an equivalent in the other language. Because I was thinking in Turkish, translating it to English, and expecting from a Polish and Vietnamese person to clearly understand what I was saying and, most importantly, what I was meaning. After this realization, I started to develop a wider thinking style and broader perspectives. With this, I was able to look at a situation, of course, more or less, from their point of view, and predict what would their reaction be in return. And now, these kinds of misinterpretations and misunderstandings occur less frequently. Consequently, being exposed to cultural diversity and gaining more cultural knowledge from my friends about their culture has transformed my worldview. And I'm genuinely glad that I was able to experience and go through this change. Hence, these differences we had did not prevent us from being good friends or being able to share ideas together. Even sometimes, it enabled us to look at situations from different perspectives. In the moment, cultural differences can be so obvious. And this is actually the thing which enabled me to realize that I also had these kinds of misunderstandings or misinterpretations with my friends in Turkey. Even if we were from the same city, brought up with similar traditions, even speaking the same language, this problem might still occur. I see now that culture is multidimensional. We can say a continent's culture, like Asian or European culture, it can be referred to countries, regions, cities, towns, and this can go on like that, till the smallest formal community in the society, till families. And since culture is the heritage that remains from our ancestors and is passed to us, enriched by experiences of our families, well, actually, every single family can have their own culture. And then these people that are brought up in the different cultures, in different families, us, we form the society we live in with each other. And by living together or being able to do so, we complement each other. I find this situation similar to a color palette with various colors. Some of them are explicitly called the complementary colors. And to create a painting, you truly need those hues to be different. So all of these different colors come together and they create a whole. For this reason, I believe, cultural diversity is absolutely necessary also in our lives. At first, it teaches us to show respect to differences. It makes our lives more interesting, and it actually provides us a continuous learning. So indeed, it is the complementary power of differences. And think for a second now, how is your culture being complemented by another? And what are the lessons and points of views you don't know yet?